Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in here to Screen Magazine. I'm Jenna Mark, and I am so excited to bring you my interview with Nora Kaye and Whitney Uland. The dynamic duo co-directed, co-wrote, and co-star in their latest project, The Cosmo Sisters, a dark comedy that brings the band back together. This, there's such a beautiful dynamic between the two of you, even though the characters have their issues and their bitterness or whatever you'd like to call it, but there is such a transformation that happens. So normally I would ask two actors what it was like to play them, but you both helped develop those characters. So what was it like to do that work?
Great
I mean,
question.
yeah, no, I think for me, I'll let Nora pipe in as well, but it just was, so much of this is built. I love being an actor and filmmaker. It's like we're just able to exploit and then make our trauma tax deductible. So just like turning our pain into something we can write off. So I feel like for me, at least, like these characters, and I know that dynamic between the two of them was so important to both of us. And even though Nora and I haven't grown up together, I think I'll speak for myself at least, that it was drawing a lot from those dynamics. Like, I recently found a home video of me and my sister when we were making a music video, and it's like we're like in the song and then we're just like going at each other's throats, and it's so funny and cringy to watch. So I know that was definitely a big inspiration to me when it's, us, like for me, a real sister, that someone that you do love and you say the most terrible things to.
Yeah, no, I agree. When we were writing this, like we wanted to create a friendship that felt like honest and earnest. And I think that friendships, you have the like best friends, and then you have like the like friends that are always fighting. And I was like, but there's so much space in between, and there's so much love, and there's so much pain. And so yeah, drawing on our own experiences, and as well as just like what's a kind of friendship, like a nuanced friendship that I want to see on screen. And then I think about growth. I think that this movie is like deliberately and like cringe wise, like very earnest. It's like they don't get the huge spectacle at the end. So it's like, how far can these characters really grow? But I think that they do grow, as you said, and I think that we were trying to give an honest portrayal of how much someone can grow in a short amount of time with the love of another friend. Yeah.
And I think oh, I'm sorry. Just that, like, the growth doesn't always, like, when we imagine what growth's going to look like, it's like, and then these huge, like, everything changes in our life, and everything looks so different than it did a year ago, when this moment, like the major growth was just them like being true to themselves and being like, this is kind of who we are and where we are, and kind of grieving that, but making peace with it was where I feel like they found their growth.
Well, I feel like you hit the nail on the head when you talked about the sisterly aspect, because when I was watching it, it did feel more like, I have a sister also, so it did feel more like sisters interacting as opposed to best friends, which there are sometimes best friends who are like sisters. So it totally registered, like as you were talking about that. But I feel like so many people are going to see this movie and be like, is it based on them in real life? You play characters that have your names. Nora, you're a self-acclaimed pasta lover, and there's a very intense pasta scene in the movie. So how much of it, or if any, is actually based on real life, or is that coincidence?
It's definitely it is inspired by real life. We also shot it in my childhood home. So, it's like we can all run away from the fact, but it's like all of the home videos that I made with my sister, like, is in the same house that we shot the feature film. I think, yeah, I as when you were saying, like, we poured our traumas into this movie. And so even though, like, I am not exactly Nora from the movie and Whitney is not exactly Whitney, like, we have, the embers of both of them very much burning inside of us. And I think that we took, like, I know that when we were writing it, I was going through like a relationship breakup, and just kind of using some of that that those very real life experiences to nourish a story about growing up.
Yeah, I think that the characters definitely like I know that I'd like to think that I have the good of both of them, but definitely the bad as well. I mean, for example, the pause scene was one that I'm sure if you like someone watching could just look at and be like, wow, Nora's having a straight up meltdown. But that was something that was inspired by like me losing my dad and these moments that just were so raw and so real that you get so fixated on one little thing that just feels like it's the straw that breaks the camel's back. And Whitney, I love her, and I love how much she does earnestly want to help people, and sometimes she uses her want to help people to help herself, right? And I would be like, all of these things were drawn from ourselves, and from things that we see in each other, and from our pain and different things like that. But the story is fictional.
So Nora, you hit this a little bit. You shot this in your hometown because this was shot during the pandemic. Hello, New World. So explain what that whole thing was like for you guys. I mean, it was definitely not your conventional movie set or any of those things.
Yeah, we had this like major plan. So originally the movie was about two women putting on a production of Chicago, the musical, in their hometown. And, we launched our crowdfunding campaign the first week of March 2020, which was also the week that all of our investors were handing over checks. And then the stock market crashed. And I mean, literally everything fell apart, right? Like in an instant. And we had attached some incredible name talent to it and all of these things. And we kind of had this moment and I think this is part of where the heartbeat of the film comes in of, do we make something that is not going to match our vision because we love it and for us, or do we does it have to be all or nothing kind of? And so I think that that was something that we had to reimagine a script, and we shot this December 2020. I mean, it was before vaccines were out, and so we just had to quarantine all of our cast and all of our crew, and it was a whirlwind for sure. I'll let Nora pipe in.
Yeah, it was insane, but also I think that Whitney and I just kept being like, we're making exactly what we set out to make. Like when we rewrote the script, like we definitely took some of the themes that we are always grappling with: how to make art, grief, friendship, love. And so in the Cosmos Sisters, we just kept being on set being like, we're making what we wanted to make, which was kind of this amazing thing in this moment of the pandemic where it felt like absolutely nothing was for sure and we didn't know how to go forward. It was like this little bubble for COVID safety, but also just like this bubble of like scrappy rock and roll energy of just being like, we are gonna make this. The crew, the cast were incredible and all like so invested. I don't know, the output of the movie is so amazing, but making it also just like was that like artistic life force for me and for Whitney. I won't speak for you, but she's nodding. And it just was like, okay, there's still art to be made, and there's still like laughter and stories and connection and creative collaboration that we can do. So that was really, really special. It's so corny. I'm getting so emotional about it.
No. I love that. And it's also a little bit parallel to the Whitney and Nora in the Cosmos Sisters, where like disaster strikes, right? And then nothing goes according to plan. So it's also a little bit ironic that like both
it's kind of like
versions of you guys, right, went on the same path.
And I think truthfully, like, yeah, well, and I think that if we'd had all of the money and all of the talent and all of the everything that we wanted, it wouldn't have the right feeling to it, because that's not what the story is. It's about these two people that are making something against all odds that everyone, like, when we were making this movie, everyone told us that we could just stop. We could just call it a day. Our lawyers, our accountants, our agents, like everyone was like, you don't have to be doing this right now. Like everything is on pause. And I think, these two women are making something that literally no one knows or cares about. And yet it's important to them. them. And I think that's kind of the heartbeat of the show is like, well, if it's important to you, then it's worth pursuing. And even if it doesn't take you anywhere, then it's worth making. And obviously this movie, we're so grateful that it has taken us, and we're going to be able to birth it. But I truly do remember being on set, and when we were driving away from Northampton, just being like, if no one saw this, we won. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, this was a success because we made a movie in a freaking pandemic. Like, I just remember that was before I had a baby. And I just remember being like, one day I'm going to have a kid and they're going to be like, Mom, what was the pandemic like? And I'll be like, kid, let me tell you, I made a movie during it. Right. And that just made it like all the more special, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, you did birth a baby afterwards. So, you know, you won both sides, pre and post.
It's true. It's true. I say that like the Cosmo Sisters was baby number one, like is the firstborn, and then my baby is my secondborn. So love them both, just completely different.
Love them both.
I can't pick a favorite though, you know.
Don't.
So my parents always say you can't pick your favorite child. So there you go.
Exactly.
So this is not the first project you've worked on together. So you guys are very familiar with each other. What is it about your guys' friendship, but also your work relationship that keeps bringing you back to one another?
I think when we met, we were cast opposite each other as best friends. And I don't know if this is Nora's experience, but for me, being on set together, and we had really great collaborators. That the man who shot our movie and was the one who shot the project that we met on, same sound engineer. We were able to bring a lot of that crew back together, which was amazing. The first shoot that Nora and I worked on together was just like, it felt like we caught lightning in a bottle. The directors that saw us and paired us together really caught something. And it just all of a sudden, the energy I feel like was so playful and so fun. And then just automatically, I feel like we had this chemistry that did really take me back to like when I was a child making movies with my cousins, where it just like, we really were able to lock into that. And I mean, one of my just like life mantras is like, if it's not fun, it's not worth doing. Or like find a way to make it fun, right? And so I think that just the energy, like when we write together is fun, when we like are on set together, it's fun. Like all of the elements, we're able to just like bring that energy that you see, that like frenetic energy between the two characters. It's like, I don't think that we would be able to, I mean, maybe we're fantastic actors, so maybe we could fake that without actually having that energy, but it is like real between the two of us. So that is just like, why not?
Yeah, it feels like in the movie, those moments where they're like dreaming together, like when they're like dancing to the music and it's like all cosmic, or when they're like working on the song, like those felt very inspired by actual like collaboration moments between Whitney and I, because it's almost like a giddiness. It's like you'll have an idea, I'll have an idea, and we're just like adding layers to this like dream parfait. And I don't know, yeah, it's something so joyful, so and like invigorating. There's nothing more invigorating than getting to like work with someone who is also like so down, like a yes man. They're just like, let's go. Like and yeah, I think that Whitney and I, when we get to work together, like it's wonderful because we each have incredible skill sets. But it's, yeah, we just like can, you know, if someone puts something down, like the other can pick it up, and it just like, we keep the ball rolling.
You balance each other out.
We balance each other.
And then we'll also be like, what we need right now is Chipotle burritos at the same time. And so then like, it's like, there's a lot of simultaneous.
Not pasta, but Chipotle.
Both sometimes, but Chipotle seems to be recurring in our working relationship.
And I want more of that. Next time, more.
Next time. So we're going to get another project from you guys. That was going to be my next.
Absolutely. Yeah, we have lots of scripts we've been developing together, and yeah, excited for all of that to come.
Cosmo Sisters 2.0. Who knows? The prequel.
Wait,
you know, it's
the
like
Cosmoverse.
The Cosmoverse. You know, it's like it could be like Cosmo Sisters, like the prequel. It's like Star Wars did it. Why can't they?
I like it. Maybe that's your new production company's name, the Cosmo Sisters.
Totally.
Whitney, you mentor, like it's one of your passion projects. When did that start for you, and how did that, you know, come to be? And then also, what is your one piece of solid advice that you always resort to giving people?
That's such a good question. I think where it started for me was, as I mentioned, my dad passed away, and it was when I was about 100 auditions into my journey of New York City, and I was not getting any of the bookings that I wanted. I was only booking really embarrassing things. I got fired from a high school student set that I didn't even mean to be on. It was a very low point in my career. And then found out my dad had leukemia. I was able to move home and take care of him while he passed. But I immediately tried to go back to New York and just get back into it, and really hit like an emotional rock bottom, and did all of the, the therapy and doing as best as I could just to get into a functioning member of society. But then I think that through my healing journey was where I found mindset work, and some people call it like law of attraction or manifesting, or the kind of work that I found to be the most helpful as a highly anxious person is based in like CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, and it's mindset coaching. And that was something that just like really flipped the switch in my brain. And for me, the reason I'm so passionate about sharing it is because not only did it help me to get out of my own way and to create the results and to create the life that I wanted, but it just made me be able to be at peace with myself and to love myself and to not wake up with anxious, like ruminating thoughts today. And it just was such a healing balm to me that it felt like I found this like secret to the universe that I just like felt so compelled to share with other people. And so, yeah, I did start a mentorship mindset program for other creatives and other artists. And I think that the thing that I see the most specifically with creatives and specifically with artists is that we are really hard on ourselves and very quick to blame ourselves for things. Most people need to take responsibility in their lives. Artists usually need to like we're so empathetic and so understanding of other people that we constantly just assume that everything is our fault. And so something that I guess like the most common advice I give is to work on like some self-compassion and giving yourself grace and compassion for the difficult like circumstances in your life, so that you can create a soft place to land for yourself, so that because when you have your own back, that's when you're able to take more risks and be able to, yeah, just feel happier, feel less anxious, like all of those things.
That's such good advice. Okay, so Nora, then on the flip side, what's the best advice she's ever given you?
Go to Chipotle. No, I'm just kidding. No, I mean, I think it's what's been so wonderful about this journey that Whitney, it's like there, as you know, we tried to make a movie during the pandemic, so it's been like incredible ups and downs. Yeah, just so much joy and then heartbreak. And I think that she's given me a lot of good advice, and kind of like a lot of like good like patting back in moments of like but I remember one that really stuck with me was like, what if this was the best thing that could happen in this moment, like during a bit like it felt like a big failure. It was like, but what if this was the best, like how to reframe this like moment of doom into something that could be productive. And guess what? It usually is. If you like really think about it and think about the like path of your life, like we didn't think we were going to make a movie in the pandemic. We didn't think there was going to be a pandemic. But if you like look at, your life is a much longer time frame than just this moment, like it gives you that breath and also like helps you like reframe this what seems like a devastation in the moment. And sometimes in that it's more of a garden, something can grow from there, which I think is like something that I've really learned is that, yeah, there's a lot more space for failure and growth if you're kinder to yourself. And
such good advice. All of it is. So the Cosmo Sisters is coming out now, which is during the holiday season. And a lot of people are like probably over, right? All the holiday good feely stuff that's been on TV since Thanksgiving and all that. So why, in both of your opinions, should somebody who is home for the holidays and just wants to turn something on, why should they watch the Cosmo Sisters?
So I think that this is the perfect movie when you're at home with your family and you realize that you booked your trip a couple days too long. And you're like, I know that this was the best flight, like the cheapest flight, but I think for my mental sanity, I should have gone home 2 days earlier. That's the perfect moment for this film, is just when you're able to kind of, because I do think that it does require some self-reflection, taking responsibility for your actions and seeing, oh, I'm being a little bit of the monster too. And that's why there's so much chaos going on. So I think that this is not only relatable, but also a movie that can help you reflect in those moments and see like, how can I enjoy my time with these people that are driving me absolutely bonkers?
Bonkers. Also, you're home. You know what's home? Either that wig or that weird cape or that really tall hat that you used to wear and make all your little videos in, or, it is being home. This is a movie about nostalgia. It's about grief. It's about friendships. It's about, growing up, and you're in this place where you did grow up. And I think after you watch the movie, maybe it's the perfect time to get that band back together.
I think so. I was ready to get the band back together, but I was all by myself.
One man band. One man band.
I don't play instruments, so no band.
Neither do we really.
Yeah, neither do we.
And you guys did you learn? Because it looked like you guys
Nora did.
Oh.
I didn't.
I
didn't even fake it.
Oh, I mean, I had like some really solid fourth grade guitar experience. And then we kind of, my sister who wrote tonight, like retaught me how to play guitar for this movie.
Oh my gosh, I did not know. I thought you guys were also just musicians and actors and all these like multifaceted. I mean, you are multifaceted, but I thought I added musicians into that. Oh my God.
You're right. We are. We're good.
Okay, so lastly, since we are right around the holidays, Whitney, it's your first Christmas as a mom, so congratulations. What fun things do you have planned?
Thank you. Yeah, this is also our first time not traveling for the holidays. So we decided to make our own traditions this year. And so we've kind of been, my husband and I have been together for 10 years, and this is our first time even considering making our own traditions, but I know we're going to spend some time at the beach. Christmas Eve, we're going to spend at the zoo, and then we're going to go to a big buffet for Christmas dinner.
10 years is a really long time.
It's really long.
Maybe you need to start giving marriage advice too.
I would. I mean, yeah, I got very lucky. I have an incredible partner. We met extremely young. I got married when I was 20 years old. So that was, I can see that there was a good amount of luck in that. I don't think most 20-year-olds pick the right person to tie themselves to. But I did somehow. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so Nora, for you, you're on vacation in Hawaii. Are you staying in Hawaii and enjoying the beaches and beautiful weather?
I am right now till Saturday. I will be going home for the holidays, back to the house that you can all see if you order the Cosmo Sisters and watch it. Yeah, no, it will be a little Christmas with my family and maybe my cat if I can coerce her to come home. But I'm really excited. I love cooking and eating with my family and just like the merriment. I'm half Jewish and half Catholic, and so we'll have the menorah, we'll have the tree, we'll have some brisket, latkes. It'll be good.
A matzo ball soup, that's always a win.
Absolutely, you gotta.
Especially if it's cold, right? It's gonna be cold.
Exactly. It's like more matzo balls. My dad's like, it's the morning. I'm like, I don't care.
All right, well, I appreciate both of your time. The Cosmo Sisters is out December 20th on demand. You can get it anywhere. Thank you both so much.